Joining us now to talk about this morning is the 15th Ward Alderman Ray Lopez. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's talk about a couple of tweets that you've done in the past few days about this issue. First, you tweeted $163 million down the drain. Where's the socialist outrage? Where's the performative politics crying foul? When is someone going to resign, be fired, or go to jail for this grift? And then you tweeted, Chicago doesn't need more money from POTUS or the feds. We need two things, Speaker McCarthy, Leader McConnell to fix the immigration system. Biden must direct USCIS to convene field courts to adjudicate asylum applications in under 6 months, not 6 years. Have you gotten any feedback from those tweets from the mayor, for instance?
Well, the mayor's office and I have been working on trying to find some long-term solutions to this issue. We've seen in the past month the migrant population in Chicago double from 5,100 people in May to over 10,000 as of this week. And we can't just keep spending money, and as we're seeing complaints about living conditions, food, and other things keep arising. When we're spending $7,000 a day, we can do better as the city of Chicago if we have a long-term solution. But the truth of the matter is very simple. The immigration system is broken. Congress needs to step in and fix it. And we also need to start having an asylum court adjudicate these requests to stay here, because these individuals will not become self-sufficient until they are granted a permanent asylum in the city of Chicago and in the United States.
So what does that look like, in your opinion, when you say fixing the system? Like, how do they fix the system? Do you have confidence that they'll actually be able to do that, especially going into an election year here?
Well, I don't have any confidence in Congress trying to actually want to fix this, because both parties, to be quite frank, have benefited from a broken immigration system, and we've seen careers made out of talking about it but doing absolutely nothing. But we are at a pivotal moment right now, a seminal moment in this country, where we're seeing huge amounts of individuals coming to this country, seeking help, seeking something better, and we're having no pathway for them to do it. And we cannot keep allowing the undocumented population to grow, because they have no rights in this country when they are undocumented. We need to come up with a pathway for them to become citizens, become naturalized, or to find some other options, because we can't leave it up to cities like Chicago and our taxpayers to have to foot the bill, which could total nearly $250 million if left unchecked by the federal government.
Well, let's talk about Block Club Chicago has this story that says there's moldy food, no hot water, poor treatment in some of these temporary facilities, and they say they get better treatment at the police stations. So what is the solution temporarily if people are just being shuffled from one temporary housing situation to another?
We need a citywide solution that addresses both their shelter as well as their dietary and health needs. We cannot rely on volunteers to continuously go to police stations and provide food. And we saw even back when they were in the stations, we were getting reports of some of the food being expired, the MREs that were being given that was not culturally appropriate or things of that nature. We need a better solution, and we need one that unites the whole city, and that's something that I've said numerous times on the city council floor, is that Chicago knows how to come together when we're asked to do it. We've never been asked at this point.
Are you allowed to go into these temporary shelters? According to this report from Block Club, that they're not letting people in to see what the conditions are there as far as the media. Have aldermen been in to see what the conditions are?
To my knowledge, no alderman has been inside to see the conditions. We're having a hard enough time just getting the answers as to where the money has been spent, let alone what the conditions are with what we're purchasing.
And that was going to be my question. We're looking at, you said $160 million here. Where's this going? When you see these pictures of some of the food that's in some of these places, people hear the number, they probably think like, oh, they're being taken care of.
Right.
But maybe not. So where is that money and where is it gone?
I think that is the huge question for many of us that want to ask about what the status is, because this isn't about so much the migrant, it's about the money. And it's about, if we're spending all of this money to help these individuals, which Chicagoans have no problem doing, why are we not helping these individuals? Why are they eating spoiled food? Why are they bouncing around police district to police district? Who is profiting from this misery, and what do we need to do to make it stop?
Yeah.
And you're talking to the mayor about this, you said?
We are talking with the mayor, the administration, his team, and all the partners to see what we can do, because we cannot continue down this path. It's not sustainable to just leapfrog from issue to issue. We have to come up with a path moving forward.
Alderman Ray Lopez, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We are going to get a check of the weather now. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, good